Welcome to Channel. Trump's unrelenting tariff war on Canada is backfiring in ways Washington never imagined. America's closest ally is no longer waiting to be treated fairly. It's pivoting to Asia. Prime Minister Carney has just announced he will attend the 47th ASEAN Summit next month, a move that signals nothing less than a seismic shift in Canada's economic strategy. This isn't symbolic diplomacy. It's a decisive break from decades of dependence on the U.S. As Trump doubles down on punishing tariffs, Carney is opening new doors for Canadian trade and investment across Asia. The message is unmistakable. Canada refuses to be bullied into submission. At the United Nations, Carney put it bluntly, Canada is no longer tied to the United States. For Washington, this represents a historic rupture with its most trusted ally. For Canada, it's the start of a new era, one where prosperity is no longer dictated by the whims of an unstable White House. This shift isn't just about trade deals. It's about security, resilience, and long-term strategy. Carney has laid out a sweeping vision for how Canada can not only survive but thrive in a fractured global order. His argument rests on three undeniable advantages that set Canada apart from Trump's increasingly isolated America. Canada has exactly what the world is demanding most, and it's ready to deliver. Canada is no longer waiting. It's moving to seize the future. With vast clean energy reserves, critical minerals vital for the global tech revolution, and world-class AI capabilities, Canada is positioning itself as a true 21st century superpower. These aren't just assets. They're the building blocks of tomorrow's global economy. Meanwhile, Trump's backward-looking policies are squandering America's chance to lead. Carney's strategy couldn't be more different. At the Global Progress Action Summit in London, he laid out how his government is channeling counter-tariff revenues straight back into Canadian companies and workers. The result? A nation that feels empowered, resilient, and ready to chart its own course, even as Trump clings to chaos and intimidation. This is what real leadership looks like: pragmatic, disciplined, and focused on solutions. Carney's approach to economic challenges is grounded in strategy and support for citizens, not Twitter outbursts and empty threats. In stark contrast, Trump's erratic behavior is driving allies away and weakening America's standing on the world stage. His latest UN address was a glaring example. A rambling 56-minute speech filled with warnings about so-called green scams, insisting that nations embracing clean energy are going to fail. It was less a vision for the future than a desperate tirade from a leader stuck in the past. Trump's tariff crusade has done the unthinkable. It has driven America's closest ally straight into the arms of Asia. While Trump rants about green scams and punishes Canada with reckless trade wars, Prime Minister Carney is preparing for his first major Asian mission, attending the 47th ASEAN Summit as Malaysia's guest of honor. This is no routine diplomacy. It's the clearest signal yet that Canada is breaking free from decades of dependence on the United States. Trump's bullying has backfired spectacularly. What was once America's most reliable trading partner is now negotiating a free trade agreement with ASEAN that could pump $2.5 billion into Canada's economy and $6 billion into Southeast Asia. These are the gains American workers and businesses are losing because of Trump's destructive policies. For Carney, this pivot is about more than trade. It's about securing Canada's economic future. ASEAN represents 650 million people, including powerhouses like Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. By locking in partnerships across the Pacific, Carney is ensuring Canada thrives in the industries of the future: clean energy, critical minerals, and advanced AI. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Carney reinvests counter-tariff revenues into Canadian workers and companies. Trump delivers 56-minute rants at the UN, warning nations that clean energy will make them fail. Carney builds bridges. Trump burns them. The irony is devastating for Trump's America First agenda. His hostility toward Canada, from insulting comments about making it the 51st state to repeated tariff threats, has accelerated the very outcome he feared most: Canada diversifying away from the U.S. and forging stronger bonds with Asia. ASEAN ministers have already called the Canada ASEAN free trade deal a priority that could reshape regional commerce. Canada is responding constructively, while Trump isolates America with ultimatums and chaos. The result? Allies no longer look to Washington for stability. They're finding it elsewhere. This is the real cost of Trump's trade war.